But yeah, I joined the gym to try to drop the pounds, and I'm kind of becoming accustomed to gym life, to like the behaviour of people around the gym, and I like it. I do like being part of a gym, but I hate one thing in the gym. I hate when like fit people in the gym try to like have a laugh and record fat people while they're trying to work out, you know? Yeah. I'm there like, stop fucking recording me. I didn't know I had put on weight. I didn't know I'd put on weight until my girlfriend made me in The Sims. Yeah. You know that like computer game where like you can create characters and all that. So my girlfriend was like, "I'm gonna make you in The Sims," and I thought, "Oh, this is nice." So we sat. I sat opposite her, like a portrait, like I was Kate Winslet in the Titanic, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be nice now." She's gonna make me looking all pretty, and she was like, "Hair dark, height 6 foot-ish, weight." I was like, "Oh, is the keyboard jammed, love?" And she said, "The only jam in the keyboard is from you, fat boy." Oh yeah, clap that, you cunts! Which it knocked my confidence a little bit, you know. That's it. But I got a confidence booster today, and this is a true story. And it happened about 3 hours ago, so I don't think I had time to make it funny. So that's a pre-warning. Okay? So it happened. As Con said, I'm from Cork, but I live in Dublin. So I came down on the train today, and I had to pee when I got off the train. So I went into the train station bathroom, and I just started. There was like 5 urinals. Okay, so there was a guy at the first urinal, and then there was a guy at the third urinal. So every guy here knows that the standard thing, you go to the 5th urinal, that's just standard bathroom practice. So I was there at the 5th urinal, which is over here. I'm really sorry. Yeah. So the 5th urinal is here, okay? So I started peeing, and I got an almighty smell of alcohol. And I hadn't been drinking at that point, so I was like, "What's that now?" So I looked over at the guy at urinal 3, and he was worse for wear. Dishevelled, older looking guy, he was obviously drinking and looked rough. So I was peeing away, didn't take any notice, and then I noticed the guy in urinal 3, he kind of just snuck a glance down at my, the thing that was peeing, and didn't take any notice. People do it, we've all done it. And then he looked at me for a second, and then he looked at number 1's thing for a second, but then he shot straight back to me. So I was kind of delighted in a way, and I was like, "Oh, what am I working with?" But this isn't a fun story so much, because it saddens me to say this, Coco Club, that the man in number 3, he began to masturbate. No easy way to say it. Can't beat around the bush. He was doing that himself, yeah. Hairy man. Don't clap him, let's not clap him. But anyway, he was looking down at me as he was doing that, and I felt uncomfortable, obviously, so I finished. Not like that. I wrapped up and zipped up, and I went off to wash my hands. And as I was washing my hands, I heard the bathroom door close behind me, and he had gone out. And I was after working myself up into a temper at that point, so I said, "I'm going to confront him." So out I went, and he was outside the bathroom door, and I said, "You're disgusting." And that's when I got the extent of his, how drunk he was. He was like, "What do you mean disgusting? I'm not disgusting." I said, "You're fucking manky, right? You're in there, and you're wanking over lads trying to go to the bathroom." And he said, "How do you know I was wanking?" So I said, "Sure, I saw with my own fucking eyes you were wanking." And he said, okay, so let me get this straight. I'm drunk, and I was looking at you peeing. You're sober, and you were looking at me wanking. So I was like, fuck, I'm after losing an argument to a drunk 60-year-old who just masturbated at my pissing penis. Let's not chat. We'll move it along. Yeah, you think that would be like one of the worst days of my life? It wasn't. It was actually pretty good because, number one, it was probably one of the worst days of his life. But no, I'm going to tell you guys for a few minutes about the worst day of my life. It was the 23rd of May 2002. That was not that funny. That was the day that my mother told me that she and my dad were getting a divorce. Yeah. And it was also the day that Roy Keane left Ireland's World Cup training squad in Saipan. That's a rough day for a young fella, you know? You find out that the most furious Cork man on the planet has had enough, and also Roy Keane was leaving Saipan. And I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget it. My mother picked me up from school, and she was trying to drop the double whammy of bad news, but she was frazzled, she was disoriented, and she initially mixed up the stories. She initially said, oh, your dad has decided to come home early, and Roy Keane's probably going to go off with some young one next, is he? So I was like, I'm delighted for both of them, but she gathered her thoughts and she clarified what she really meant, and I was devastated, absolutely devastated. More about the Roy Keane thing than my dad now, to be honest with you, because I always thought that my mom was going to be able to find a suitable replacement, but like, what were Ireland going to do, you know? Yeah. And the country, I'm not sure if you remember, the country was split on the matter. The Roy Keane versus Mick McCarthy thing, they weren't too bothered about my parents, but the country was divided. Everyone had an opinion on Roy Keane or Mick McCarthy. And to be fair, in my house, we debated the divorce the same way that the country debated Saipan, you know? Myself and my older sister, we'd be saying things like, well, if the food wasn't up to scratch, of course he was going to leave. And, well, with two fiery characters like that, this was inevitable. And I never found out at the time why my parents split up. I was too young, they didn't tell me until, I'm 31 years of age now, they told me this year why they got divorced, and there was problems in the bedroom. And they both had like two different versions of the same story, but again, all so similar to the circumstances with Roy Keane leaving the World Cup. My mom, like Roy, said that Mickey wasn't good enough. And my dad, God bless my dad, he was very honest. My dad put it down to erectile dysfunction. He said that, keen or not, getting to a semi was always going to be a big ask. And we're Man United fans in my house. So like my older sister, told me to deal with my Roy Keane disappointment the same way that I should come to terms with my dad leaving. She said, just give it a few months and you'll see him every Saturday again. Myself and my sister were very different people. We don't have any like overarching interests. She's all she watches on TV is like dramas, and she's a drama queen. And all I watch are comedies, and I'm a comedian. And all my girlfriend watches are murder documentaries. So I sleep with one eye open. I met my girlfriend on Bumble. Anyone hear of Bumble? Yeah. Bumble is that app where the woman has to make the first move. And I think it's fair to say that was the very last time that she was decisive in her life. And I'm not going to spend 5 minutes up here now talking shit about my girlfriend, because I did that several times. So I'm going to talk, like, my girlfriend. I love my girlfriend. My girlfriend's gorgeous. She's funny. She's lovely. She's kind. She's in the audience tonight, so I have to say that. But yeah, no, my girlfriend's, she's a proper country girl, you know? Born and racist. She's from a place in West Cork called Castletownbere. Jesus Christ. But no, she has these like lovely turns of phrase. Like, she'll put "een" at the end of words, E-E-N. And she'll say something like, "Do you want to go downtown for a drink-een?" And what that basically means is, do you want to go downtown for a little drink? Apparently, "een" in Irish means small or something. I can't begin to express my disappointment when she told me to whip out my cockeen. You never want to hear cockeen, fellas. And for anyone, I'm going to wrap up soon. For anyone who was here, I was gigging here last month, like 4 or 5 weeks ago, and some other people here, Aina, Aina was here last time. So he would have heard the stories about, like, I was talking about my reluctance to get married, and I probably spent about 20 minutes talking about it. So it was a long taxi ride home with my girlfriend. And she was asking me if I was serious about it, you know. Okay, do you actually not want to get married? I said, not really, like, to be honest with you. I was joking on stage and we had a conversation about it, because the only reason she really wants to get married is because all of her friends are engaged at this point. And she was like, she just thinks she's next in line. And I was trying to explain how that's not how it works. So I asked her, I said, so if all of your friends jumped off a cliff, would you? And she considered it, she really considered it, and she said, I think I would, yeah. I would be too worried about losing all my friends, and I'd likely shit my pants, but I'd probably just jump and pray for a heart attack for it all to be over sooner. And I stopped her and I said, that's exactly how I feel about proposing. But we're not, won't be getting married anytime soon. We do, like, we live together and we talk about, like, the next steps in our relationship and all that. We talk about kids. See, like, I think she'd be a great mother. I think I'd be an okay dad, so we probably will at some stage have kids. But I'm just terrified of the whole, like, labour ward thing. The giving birth thing scares me. I know I don't have to do it, but she has to do it, and I hear, like, oh, sometimes it takes days sometimes it takes. And I heard this the other day. I heard an old wives' tale that sometimes if the woman is struggling to get the baby out, that the midwife will ask them to get into the same position that the baby was conceived in to ease the process. We could never. Yeah? We'd be there asking the nurse, oh, do you have handcuffs? Because we forgot to pack them in the baby bag. Thank you. One last one and I'm gone. One last one because I have to mortify my girlfriend before we go. So yeah, like, honestly, my girlfriend is adventurous in the bedroom. Bit of a tomcat, you know what I mean, Anna? She asks me to blindfold her and tie her up. And sometimes even choke her. And I know that sounds hot, but in reality, she just doesn't want to see me or touch me, and she'd rather be dead. Thank you, everybody!